So we can get it right. Very, very, very good morning to you people out there, to me people, my people, whatever. Oh man. Whew. Okay, so as you know, this episode is brought to you by the Chai Spice Tea Organics with the special ingredients. And I will tell you why I put the special ingredient inside. Oh man. You know, it's so funny because, and I call this morning potluck, episode, the narrative. You know, I I think about this that we're supposed to go ahead in life as we get older, right? But do you ever find yourself going back to like, and I'm not saying bad habits, but just going back to things you did when you were a kid, old hobbies and things. Like I took Shotokan karate when I was like 12 years old. I remember I was training for my kata to get the yellow belt, and I don't know why. I don't know. I'm not one of those guys that when I get into something, I do it. But when I was younger, I guess um, I guess that's before my dad died, though. I think when my dad died, everything changed. I just noticed as I got older, everything changes. I always had a really strong work ethic when it came to athletics, sports and stuff, and fitness. It's like when I got into bodybuilding, man, I like wrote down everything, like in my weight, where I wanted to get to, my eating. Man, I was fucking so determined for so long. And then I started asking myself, I go, what are you doing this all for? You think, you want to be big so people look at you, women look at you. I mean, I don't know. If you want to be on stage, And I got to be honest with you, like, what I never liked about bodybuilding, like the competitive bodybuilding, I just don't like. It's like you could build, let's say, a classic physique. If you look at that, and these guys, yeah, they're in phenomenal shape. Even the classic physique guys in IBB Pro, these guys are huge. Believe me, they might not look it, but they are. Um, you know, but it's the freaks, dude. It's like those monsters, these guys. And it's like they got incredible shape with it. So it's like a Jay Cutler. I think a lot of these people they all said the same thing. It's like you're a living superhero. Is what they want to see, like a real life Incredible Hulk. And the problem is with that is there's an extremely high probability that something is going to go wrong. Um, is your body is not meant to be look like that. It could be the more than likely it's going to be the chemical muscle enhancement, aka steroids. It's going to fuck you up internally. In Ronnie Coleman's case, I guess he blew out his back trying to squat 800 pounds after winning all those Olympias, right? For whatever reason, I mean, and I'm going to say this the nicest way I can. I mean, I got respect for that dude, but you could kind of tell he's a little, you know, I don't know how to say this, dopey, or something like that. Like, the way he was, and the smartest person, it doesn't take this, somebody really smart ain't going to be taking all those steroids and all that kind of shit. That's like ridiculous. It's kind of, it's, it's ridiculous. You want to look ridiculous, but you have to understand something. If you're in a major competition where everybody else looks ridiculous, you have to look like the most ridiculous, right? It's a stupid. And then you ask yourself, you go like, okay, well, what is all this for? I mean, yeah, it's a huge notoriety to be the Mr. Olympia, I guess, but you know, it's like you're willing to sacrifice. I mean, like Jay Cutler is like exactly my age. I think he was born a day or two before me. We were both born November '73, and he talks about this when he was in high school. He was already 200 pounds. Could bench 315, no problem. And he said he wanted to be 240, and he got there. Like it was really easy, not really easy, but this guy had just the deep muscle belly. He was talking about all that. I listened to what talks about. Dude, I remember. I think I went to see a doctor. We do for our baseball. Go get clearance from a doctor. I remember he put me on the scale in 11th grade. I was 111 pounds. I remember. And I said, doctors, and he says, you're growing. You'll be all right. It was okay. It wasn't like anemic or anything bad. Because I wasn't even 5'9". I think I was 5'6" or 5'7". And then my aunt used to scare me, telling me, oh, they're gonna need to force feed you. Scared the shit out of me, But she was wrong, completely wrong. You know, that's why most people, you don't understand. Most people you're gonna gain weight as you get older naturally. Um, unless you're like my friend, that's all he does is drink beer and smoke cigarettes all day. Eats like a bird. He's like 6'1", so he weighs like 130 pounds. He's like bone thin. It's not healthy. I guess like you could say one way or the other. Both ways, both extremes are not healthy. Personally, I don't like it when women are real thin. It's just not really attractive. Like my ex-girlfriend, she takes like medication. I don't know, for a thyroid or something like that. It's like real kind of thin. Like I don't like. I like women with some density. I'd rather have a woman a little bit heavier. I mean, that's what I like. Than have that kind of thin. Like Madonna has that real thin kind of when she worked out. I didn't. It's not sexy. At least J Lo, she knows she's got to have. It's nice to have a little tone, but not that muscular. Unless you're now. I've seen a chick that was like going to some CrossFit thing. I know she was taking. I know definitely she was jacked, but her legs, her thighs were like big. Oh, so attractive. I mean, I gotta admit. Like on some chicks, like they're just. I know. I have like a specific taste preference. I guess every guy does. We all know what we like. Um, if you like women, so it just depends. Um, but there's I see women, doing CrossFit kind of stuff, and they have some of those women have that density. I know they're taking. I know, I don't, but I don't care. I don't care because they just look incredible. I told you I met China that one time at the Saddle Ranch, and she stood up, and she was wearing like a pink jumpsuit, but it was like wow. Even like I know she wasn't like as big as she was in the late '90s that when I saw her, but it was pretty cool. It's like, oh, she was nice to me. Like for me, I look at it like, you know, I like to really, really push myself. Um, but I am realistic. I'm realistic. I've been around too long. I remember like in 2002, like I saw this guy with Brock Lesnar when he first came out. And I said, well, I want to be like, a 5'9" version of that. And, I just thought, okay, well, if I could modify my eating, I could, with the supplements and everything. And no way, no way. Even like Eddie Guerrero, God rest his soul. They take. You're not going to build a steroid body without gear. I mean, there's just no way. Um, Again, but you could make very good improvements. But I think you have to understand the limitations of what I said. Very good. You're just not going to get really dramatic changes. It just doesn't work. John Cena made a joke one time. He said, when he started getting big, I said, well, I hit my growth spurt. You got to know, you got to use your creative mind on that. Um, but he's real. He knows how to use wordplay. When I met him at the hotel, I remember. Yeah, I mean, I know. So I didn't have to tell me because I have I have a friend acquaintance that was taking that takes large amounts of growth, and I know the size what it is. Personally, I just hate needles. Actually it takes even going to the hospital. I have to be sort of like sedated to be able to get anything done, and it's really hard. I just have issues with it. It just bothers me. And some of the oral anabolics, it's like I don't want my head to get real big, and then when you get big and then you stop taking, your body shrivels up in your head. You look like a Tootsie Roll pop. You don't want to be like that, giant head and no body, and then you don't want the other way reverse. I've seen pictures of like these guys before the Mr. Olympia contest, whatever. They're going to a press conference. They have these giant suits they're wearing. They got these small heads and a giant body. It's like it looks ridiculous. Um, it's just you have to. It's like you see it on stage. You're like, wow, that's pretty. But when you're standing next to these people, it's like just you know you see the ridiculousness when you're real close. From a distance, it's kind of hard to tell because it's like John Cena. You see him wrestling guys like the Big Show or the Viscera, whatever. These guys are 500 pounds, 400 pounds. So of course he's not. He doesn't look that big, right? But when you stand next to this guy, and I don't, if you're like an average sized person, let's say you're like 150 pounds, I've seen people scared. I've seen like little kids scared to shake his hand because like he's so he's a big fucking dude. Um, his hand is. I showed you pictures of like Booker T's hand next to him, as big as my head. So it's hold on, bear with me for a second. We're going to stay live here. I'm just checking a quick price on something, but I will return. I think. I hope. Let me see. Okay. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, so that's my point. Is like, it's like wow, you see this thing and these guys talking about years of dedication. They show the eating, the 8 meals a day, whatever. Like they're eating tilapia, the fish and the rice, and constantly eating. And it shows them in the gym training like maniacs. Sometimes doing cardio on a stairmaster. You see, and then they try to show, well, it's not always. They use light weights too, something like that. I says, but hey, you're not showing the gear, dude. You're not showing the gear. That's incredible, vital component because you're without that, none of that shit works. You see the gear, the steroids, the anabolics, the growth hormone, whatever these guys what they're taking, all this stuff, it all works, synergistically for it allows you to train harder. It allows you to eat more. All these things. It allows you to gain more muscle. So you see, like they keep saying, it's not all steroids. It's not all steroids. Yeah, take that out of the equation. I think there was one guy that competed. He was like natural. He came in dead last in the Mr. Olympia contest. It was like a bad year, 87 or something like that. I don't know how the hell he got in, or whatever. But thing was like, it is all that. It is all that. Without it, there's nothing. So, you can make the argument. You could say, oh, no, no, it's all my training, all my diet. I would be. And I'm sorry. I think Jay Cutler said that. But he said, you know what? You're wrong. You're wrong because without the anabolics, you couldn't do anything else. So there you go. I mean, I'm very sorry. I never took. Okay, now when Andro came out, um, I have tried some SARMs, Andro, a couple years back, and this is after, God, I was almost 40 years old, I think, at the time, training like, for 15 years straight already. And then I maxed, I couldn't get past 185 pounds. That was it. Didn't matter how much, I didn't have as much knowledge about eating clean like I have now. And I also didn't know how to train properly, like my legs, a lot of weights in the legs. I went to the gym. I did a two dayer last night. I trained at night. I went back. I trained in the morning, upper body. Lots of like little. It's kind of hard because you know, as I told you, I do like boxing, martial arts, calisthenics, and then I want to do like bodybuilding. I want to get some mass. So, I'm doing like bodybuilding on top. So I'm doing everything, and I'm saying, well, hold on, I gotta break this thing down because it's like it's just too much. Trying to do everything at once. So I was doing like tries, and I remember I had always like, I never really had good buys. I'm starting to get pretty good buys because I'm doing more calisthenic moves. As far as using like pull up, chin up pull ups, different types of rope, the Olympic rings, the rings. That isolates, that type of pulling movement. You get good, it hits your buys. So, but you have to realize your tries are 2/3, of your upper arm. So, you say if you want a big arm, you got to have good tries. That's what it is. So I'm sitting there saying, okay, well, I want to do tries, but then, I'm saying, oh, fuck, I want to kick the bag and punch it as well. I want to go, I want to do my upper body too, so I'm saying, fuck, I had to break everything down. And I said, oh, I want to kick the bag, so I got to stretch out my leg. I said, you know what I'm going to do? And I got to do abs. Oh my God, it's like a million and one things. I said, you know what? Let me just, ease up with the leg. I'll do legs by itself, kick the bag, whatever. And I went in last night and that's all I did. They got this machine. It's a new machine. It's kind of weird. It's got this. I'm going to try to describe this. Okay, just envision like a six-sided. Um, I think a six-sided is a hexagon. Six-sided, if I'm not mistaken. Five is penta, but I think six is six-sided. So this is like a three-sided orange. I don't know what it is. It's a multi-purpose machine, and you can use it to like you ever see people like picking up, flipping over the tires and stuff. So imagine like it's like a U, kind of like a half, and it's like an orange, and you can use it for lots of different things. So what I would do is I position myself where I can basically use it as resistance, where I could kick my leg back into it. Um, you see people working their hamstrings that way, where they're doing kind of leg lifts. So what I do is I position myself, and there's like a exercise bike that kind of moves. So I'll put my hands on the exercise bike, and I'll just kick back. Now this thing comes back and forth. It's not really that heavy, moderately heavy. Crank out like 20, 25 reps with each leg, and I notice it builds your leg power, and your strength. So I'll try to do anything I can to work around putting any pressures on my knees. I'll tell you an alternate version of squats, which basically what Frank's saying, he has his leg blaster, which takes the pressure off your knees because the harness basically keeps the weights in front of you, so that when you're basically sitting back into the squat, puts all the pressure in like your ass. Um, I guess, and your quads, but little in the knees. What I do is I take like a weight that's like a weight that, and basically what I do is I'll put it on my shoulder and I'll hold it with one hand. The other hand, I will brace. I will hold on to like a railing or something, and I will kind of try to lean back, take all the pressure off the knees, and then do like 20, 25 reps squatting. Then I'll take like a breather for a second because squats will take, I don't care how, it doesn't matter. You're squatting or squatting, it's going to take the most out of you. And I'll take the weight down and I'll switch it, put it on the other shoulder, hold it, brace with the other arm, and do another 20, 25 reps. And I feel like my legs get, they get bigger. You get a good pump in there. And it's fucking hard as fuck. I'm wearing this mask. I forget what it's called. The ones that like it's a white mask, and the mask is like I'm breathing so hard. The mask is like breathing into my face and then coming out. Like expanding and contracting, and it's like fuck, dude. You know, it's hard as fuck. It's hard. It's and that's I heard a saying. That's why you can go to any gym. You can count on one hand generally how many people have truly good legs. Legs is half your body, right? You would think that people would be training. They do. I do see people doing squats and lots of stuff, but you just don't. I don't know. I look and I don't see dudes with really of course, you always see dudes with great arms, like big back, nice chest, whatever, but not really fully developed legs. Why? Because it's hard. It's hard. It'll take more out of you than anything. Um, and it requires a type of intensity through advanced knowledge. With me, even though I haven't been training like really hardcore for a while, I have the knowledge over the past 30 years. Because I've been, a couple times, I was very serious. And when I was serious, I was like just really intense. That's all in my mind. Like I know how to train intensely. It's kind of embarrassing. I hate like these gay guys are all like they're standing around and I'm like I'm glad the mask kind of covered it. I don't need them staring at my expressions because I push really hard. And I just don't give a fuck what they're thinking because they don't realize the gains that I'm making. You know, it's like I want to look good in my clothes. I like it to be kind of like tight. Like I like the jeans like to fill out. I don't like baggy jeans. Walking around. I like shit to kind of like to fit properly. And you do the leg work. If you're wearing the right jeans, it fills it out. Like I could tell. I like that. Um, Seeing these dudes, their legs so big they have to get custom jeans. I mean, that's crazy. But I'm never going to be like that because a lot of those guys they're taking, and I'm not going to take. I have my limitations, not when it comes to like my work ethic, but when it comes to what I'm willing to take. The it's like I just do not prescribe to prescription drugs, and steroids are that. I don't like that. It's medicate. Like I don't take any medication. I just don't like that shit. Um, and those anabolics, that's what that shit is. It's meant for people that are wasting away, sick people. It's not meant for relatively healthy people. So it might look like you see these guys that are just incredible, yeah. But let me tell you, man, it's. I mean, is there always a price to pay? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like that look when it shrivels up. These guys are big and then it goes away, and you're like, I mean, you see like Ronnie Coleman. Oh my God, showed him like when he got out of the hospital, and then he's starting to do leg work. His legs were like you couldn't believe how bony. I mean, after you look at him in his prime, it was like unbelievable, right? And you pull the air out. It's like I mean, it's not air all starts, but dude, that shit all goes away. Um, it does. I mean, even me, like my peak close to 200 a couple of times, and I stopped. I stopped. Whatever after kidney stone surgery and this and that, all the way down to like 150 almost. It was like just about it. I mean, I didn't look sickly or anything. 150, I look kind of average. Like you know. But I just don't like that. For somebody that has that knowledge and trained really hard, I feel like I should be. I have a master's degree in phys ed. I should look like you know and a lot of these trainers they take because they might not train, but they do take because they want to look like they still did or look. It's hard to be everything and do everything. Okay, here I am in the gym. I'm boxing, jeet kune do, fucking kicking, martial arts, bodybuilding, calisthenics. Like all that. You can do all of that stuff and not make any money from all this and all the eating and all this dedication to it. Fuck, man. It's an incredible amount of investment of everything to get guaranteed of nothing. Now, my philosophy is this: if you do nothing, you are guaranteed nothing. If you do everything, your odds go up, but you are still guaranteed nothing. But your odds go up of the dream of whatever possibility you think. You think you're going to be the next Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan or Jason Statham or Steven Seagal or whatever like that. So you know it's hard because you have these dreams, right? And you don't see you're putting in all this time and energy like that, and some people even looking at you. But there's a saying also: get so good that they have to notice. Um, you know, that's really profound when you think about it, because if you get so good that they have to notice, maybe word would spread around, and then the right person might notice, who's a manager or agent or something like that. They might be able to do something for you, and then somebody, then if you become bankable, then it's like the snowball just rolls itself. You have to, like, to do the work. But let me tell you, like, you could look at, like, The Rock, for example. Yeah, his dad gave him an in into the business, but he probably worked his ass off, probably in like the mid '90s, and stuff. And even McMahon goes, he'll be a millionaire within a year. So I guess from having $7 in your pocket to becoming a millionaire, I mean, that's a big fucking that's a huge step up. Of course you're seeing somebody now, it's got everything, but you have to understand, like, really what it's like to have nothing and work your way. I mean, that's just really most people. There's just no fucking way, for whatever reason. Um, you know, Now it doesn't have to. You don't have to be bodybuilder. You don't have to be a wrestler. You don't have to be, but I took the philosophy that earning a doctorate degree would put me in the top 2% or less. I think it's 1.5, 1.8% of all Americans that hold a doctoral degree. They're a doctor. So I said to myself, okay, well, look how many millionaires there are. They're not all doctors, but you see, do you understand what I'm saying about the odds? Increasing the odds. Now, my uncle, like, he's a millionaire. He won't help me anymore, but he doesn't. He dropped out of university and stuff. But my point is that you can, like, try to put the odds in your favor. Now, getting a doctorate degree doesn't guarantee you're going to be a millionaire, but you're still in that smaller percentage of people that have it. Now, so what you do is what you start, like, doing all these things that start to put the odds in your favor of success. It's this, it's that, it's this, and that, and that, and that. Something's got to hit. Something has to hit. You just have to be right once. Now, I fucked up on these cryptocurrencies. This one, if I would have stayed with it, I would have made this. If this other coin, if I would have stayed with it, I would have made that. Um, you know, you just got to be right once. And so, unfortunately, like, I really haven't made it yet. Like, I've been haven't been right once yet. I mean, close, but you just got to keep grinding. You got to keep grinding till something kind of hits. If you don't, you wind up having nothing. Like, I live in this welfare building, and these people, like, for whatever reason, they're you're going to be like that if you're you know you look at, like, people, like, in a poor area. Now, there's people that own those buildings around there. For the most part, they don't live around there. They own the properties, but they live, like, in affluent areas: Bel Air, Beverly Hills, Pacific Palisades. And so it's you just have to look at and really try to look at things from an eagle eye perspective. You know, get outside of that and look, kind of try to learn how things operate and how they work. And if you're just, like, don't like the way things are going, you're gonna have to sacrifice things. Like, you have to look at, okay, well, I'm spending too much time with people they're bringing me down. You got to get rid of those people, or at least keep them in the what I call a bullpen. I usually keep the women in the bullpen, but there's another bullpen for friends, that are wasting your time. Um, get alone by yourself, and try to think and try to figure out, okay, like, where does my strengths lie? Like, what can I become? What can I do at this point? And don't look for a quick answer. Give it time. Things take time. How long it took for me, dude? I went back to college, community college in my mid-30s, okay? Now I got my associates very quickly, but it took me just about 6 years to get my fucking bachelor's degree. I couldn't figure out what to go, what to do. I couldn't figure it out. I got bounced out of Dominguez Hills. I got bounced out of Cal State Northridge. It took me a long time, but eventually I got it. Now, it doesn't guarantee you a damn thing, but my point is that it takes time sometimes. Don't compare yourself to other people either. Just don't compare yourself. Doesn't matter. Everybody's journey is unique to their own. I don't compare myself to people in the gym. They're not on my journey. They're not on my journey, okay? Same people going in there in the morning, same people going in there at night. I go in whenever I want. I do whatever I want. And there's nobody that makes the progress like me. There's nobody. Because they don't know what I know. Because they haven't been doing for as long as I have. They don't know. And I don't care. It's not my job to educate them. Okay? And I have like I was thinking, I told my friends this, what I'd like to do, to move to Vegas, I'd like to have a warehouse. I'd like to have my own fucking gym in there. Like a real hardcore facility. No frills, nothing. And I don't want to advertise. I don't, it's not about getting members and stuff like that. No, it's my own warehouse. I'm gonna have a ring in there. It's gonna be like a also like a wrestling ring, but maybe dual for boxing. I don't know, but I like the wrestling thing. I've always liked that since I was a kid. And have like shit where I could do pull ups and just real. You ever see like Ronnie Coleman's like Metroflex, real dusty kind of like hardcore? So that's what I want. That's what I want. A no thrills kind of thing. Someplace where I can make some noise in there and it's okay. Have like one of those big ceiling, those fans, the circular fans that go real slow, real hardcore dungeon kind of like fucking, because that's where the real gains lie, in those dungeon type places. Yeah. And I want to have a fucking heavy bag in there that's heavy as fuck. Like Bruce Lee had that 900-pound bag, something like that. They're fucking hard. Fucking a place like where you could really fucking grind intensely. Um, and that's where the real gains lie. It's not about how much noise you make. People make fun of me sometimes in the gym. I know they're making fun of me. Yeah. I would go up in their fucking face and I say, "You go ahead and you show me. You go ahead and you attempt the push-up plank. You show me." They won't be able to do it. Now I can't do it yet, but I'm doing like trying to hit push-up with my hands by my waist. I guarantee you, you take all the people in the gym, 99.9% of people can't do one. It's that hard. It's that hard. But I push myself, okay, to my maximum. And that takes intensity, that takes knowledge. Like an advanced, you have to be like advanced to be able to push your body that hard. But I know it because I've got just about 30 years on and off. I was training on universal strength machines back in the late 80s, okay? That's how far I go back. But it's not that I just go that far back. I'm knowledgeable, okay? Through reading and research and meeting people and attending conferences and conventions and the fit expos and meeting people and getting a master's of science degree in phys ed, okay? I don't have a doctorate in kinesiology. I might consider it, all the work that I've done to become, I'm this far away from doctoral candidacy. We'll see if I decide to stay where I'm at or whatever. Talking shit doesn't do anything for me, but I can because I earned. If you earn the right, you can. That's how it works. Nobody likes a shit talker. Too bad. But but I like the idea of the gym. My friend said it'll cost about $30,000. Um, Maybe I'll look into it. I'm curious. Damn, that'd be badass, dude. My own place, and go in there, and I could really fucking. Oh my god, it just never really occurred to me. A real hardcore facility. Wow. I know people would want to join it too. I knew they'll if you build it, they'll come. And I don't want that. I don't want them. That's not. It's not for them. I would be so selective. I'd say, okay, I'll let you come in here and do this. Um, it's like, look, I see this dog pound place. They got a ring in there too. I could go in there. I bet I could tear that fucking place apart. But it's probably some rich fucking cream puff. Send your resume. My resume. Why don't you let me in there? Let me show you what I can fucking do. I don't wear fucking gloves. I wear workout gloves when I hit the bag. Okay, I got my knuckles. I kind of worn out. I like it though. I don't care. I'm like, I believe in like being a warrior, not a fucking pussy or cream puff. Where I go to the gym, there are cream puffs in there. I don't care if they have full muscles and stuff. That's all steroid. That's not from hard work. I know somebody. If they're, I would know who they are. It's somebody that's because I watch. I know. I have too much knowledge, too much time. That you can't fool me. You can't fool me. I'm not brand new. So anyway, that's what I think. I used to think, trying to become a chess master. I have this friend of mine. He he just doesn't get it. He thinks you can go straight to that 2200. Like that. No fucking idea. And he knows. He doesn't want to admit it. Now, when I first started playing, I remember I went into the LA Chess Club in Los Angeles. Here, it was a pretty strong place in Southern California, and I saw the owner, Mick. He has the certificates on the wall, the title of senior master. I think he's got the master certificate behind that one. And I asked him, I said, "What does it take to get this?" And he just was like, he got kind of mad. I remember he's like, "Everything, my whole fucking life, everything, my wife, everything, relationships, everything." And I didn't understand what he's. Now I understand. Now I don't have that certificate. I don't even have the master title, which is 2200. I got up borderline close to about 1780s, close to 1800. He's a Class A player. It's kind of respectable, but it's not even a title. 2000 national expert, and they don't even give you paper for that. It's like you want to become 2200, you got to beat it out of the experts. You want to become an expert, you got to beat it out of Class A players. Think about that, Class A players. That's how good. That's how strong. And you do all that, everything, all the studying, all the dedication, all of that. No money, just a paper says you're a master of chess. What's it going to get you? You could put that kind of dedication into education. You could become a doctor or something. It could lead to a career or something like that. But you see, too much energy dedicated in the wrong thing. Well, wrong is arbitrary. It's relative. But what do you even get out of it? Like with me, what I do in the gym, just all those leg squats I need to build. Yeah, to build power. When I was kicking the bag, definitely. You know, trying to hit a certain weight density. You know, it's like you got to put in so much to kind of get so little, but all that little adds up. And again, it just depends, man. Because you could be putting so much energy into something that could lead really nowhere, but it's your life, so you decide what the value of nowhere is. And other people are going to try to tell you, I don't give a fuck you. It's my life. It's my life. Think about that. And it's your life too. Anyway, I'm going to get back on here, see what's going on in the crypto markets. Did my laundry, probably hit the gym. And try to figure out. Now here, I'll leave you with one thing. There's this, I think I told you about this, you know I pay, right? The chicks that I like, I'm always open about that. And there's this one, she's in town for a couple of days with her friend, and I would love to finally meet this one, but the price, and it's like, where do you draw the line with how much? I mean, fuck, man. How much is it to see her? I'll tell you, okay, I'll be honest, but it's all relative. To some people, $500 or 500. And some people, $1,000, be $1,000. And some people, 1,500, 1,500. It's all relative. So she wants 1,500, right? And I can get it. I'd have to sell. I got some gold. It's a fuck, man. And I started saying to myself, damn. You grew up watching these videos, and you see her there, and of course, every body changes, and she still looks pretty damn good. An hour will come and go. In this life, I say the experiences is all that matters. Time's gonna go. You're gonna die eventually, and I just say experiences are everything. But you don't want to, think about it. That $1,500. I mean, I gambled that away so many times easily. I mean, that's $1,500 toward that warehouse to make my gym a reality. It's like I've always wanted to see her. So it's something to ponder. How much do you weigh out experiences worth the value of the money? Because isn't money a tool to kind of get what you want out of life? Some people want a house, well, so what's the difference? You're getting something you want. So it's just something to think about. It's like this Rolex that I want. It costs what it costs. And I even tried, look, I said, oh, what about a half an hour for $500? She won't fly for it. She won't do it. So, I've just wondered what you think about that. That doesn't really matter because, everybody is usually, some people say, go ahead and do it. Some other people like, nah, let her go. It doesn't, you're not me. I guarantee if you ask yourself deep down, there's things that you would pay for, which other people would criticize too. So it's all up to you. I pay for a gym membership, it costs what it costs. So think about that. Sometimes you pay for food, right? Well, you need food to survive. Well, you know what? It's like I just always want to see this one. I could live without it, but it's like, damn, man, it's just an incredible experience, and I'm willing to pay for that because there's only so much time in life to do things, and I want you to think about that. It's like go to Disneyland, right? You got to pay to get in. You're paying for the experience. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. And Warrior Junior will let you know what winds up happening if I decide to go see her. I know you want to see what she looks like. Might show